The devil is a better salesman than God, or at least it seems like it. And that's because what the devil sells appeals more to our base nature. What he sells instant pleasure beyond our wildest dreams. The devil sells self-indulgence. Anything our body wants, the devil has on demand ready to go. On the surface, what the devil sells seems far more interesting, usually appealing to our base existence. Usually beautiful, smells good, tastes good, and appeals to every part of our human flesh. The problem with what the devil sells is that every time we buy something from him, we give a piece of ourselves to him every time we buy something. Another problem with what he sells is that after we buy it, it doesn't satisfy us. We only leave wanting more. What the devil sells is like water being poured into an empty cup with a hole in the bottom. It will never fill us up. What the devil sells is sweet at the first bite and bitter on the last. But God is not as good as a salesman, or at least it seems like it. Because what God usually sells requires work. It usually requires the hard way that we don't want to take. But what God sells, we really need. And when we get it, it lasts. Peace is what God sells. What God sells is the ending of restlessness on the inside of you. God sells the end of confusion. It doesn't seem so interesting on the surface, but when you get it, it's realized what you've been waiting for. Peace is like a mountain. It sits still as chaos and excitement moves around it. Peace doesn't usually appear to a person who only wants material things of this world. Peace appeals to the person who does not care about the material things of this world. Peace appeals to the person who is broken, realizes they are broken, and wants to get fixed. Peace is constant. It's always there, always waiting for us, and I think that's why we take it for granted. But like I said, this mountain of peace is always there, and we can cling to it anytime we want to. The problem is we have to want to. We have to put away the distractions of the world, the distractions that are enticing our flesh, because that's not going to bring peace. And we have to go to the mountain. You see, the devil is a better salesman than God, but what the devil sells is faulty and unfulfilling. God is not as good as a salesman, at least it seems like it. But when you get his product, you won't want anything else.